Hey, what's going on out there, YouTube? This is SEL0320 representing JVS. Unfortunately, I will not be watching any of you guys' live stream comments. I'm just going to be getting straight to the point because I want to be able to articulate what I really feel about Wonder Woman after reflecting on everything I saw last night, after the review, after the discussions, after it was all said and done. From my critical side, from my critic side, what did I truly think about, Wonder Woman? Because I think that it's so easy to get lost in the sauce with, being excited, to having a decent movie, to having something that actually works, and then having your friends be there to really enjoy it with you. It's hard to sit there and critique something in that nature. So this will be my finite number review as well as my ultimate perspective on Wonder Woman that I saw last night. All right, so here we go. Looking at Wonder Woman in the way that I would dissect it, I think that it's a very well done origin story for Wonder Woman based on her mythos, based on her character development, and I think that even from a written standpoint, I think it was written very well. I think that they took a lot of time engaging where they wanted to go with the character, and it wasn't like necessarily tied down to anything with the DCEU in any regard of what they were able to do before it. I think that the other thing about this that I actually really appreciated is how the fact that when they actually did commit to the somber moments or the sad moments, that they were able to push through them. Not that they lingered on like, this doom and gloom kind of situation, but when there was something serious that was actually happening, they stuck to their guns and they actually did it very well. I think the other part of this is that when I was looking at the film, I think that, oh man, hold on, you guys. Sorry, I'm on I'm on my breakfast right now. So for me, I think that they were able to commit to those somber moments very well. Like when there was moments of, like, man, that was a weighty scene. They committed to it, and I think that the credit goes to, for me, is definitely in Steve Trevor character that was played by Chris Pine. He committed to every single line, every single moment. Like, he was the character I actually rallied behind, even just as much as I did for Diana Prince, played by Gal Gadot. But when he had these moments of, like, this charismatic character, this brave character, he acted them very well. Towards the third act, I think that he had one of the strongest pushes to push her into who she needed to be as Diana Prince, as Wonder Woman, moving forward. And again, this is going to be a non-spoiler review. Right now I'm going through a lot of the positives. I think that the score was very well done. They did such a great job with the score that I was really surprised that I was like, I really want to buy this score. I think that the set pieces where they went from London to the mascara that was, I mean, even if I compare it to, Thor or Thor the Dark World, like this rivaled that in so many different ways. I think that they did a really great job committing to how they wanted to showcase, the Amazonians and the mascara. I think that there was, from some negative standpoints, I think there were some moments where I wanted to go more in depth with the lore of the Amazonians. I think they could have went more in depth with it, but I think what they gave us was enough for be like, all right, I'm hooked in. When you make another Wonder Woman 2, which I'm guarantee at this point they're going to, I know that I'm going to see more. I know I'm going to see more history, more richness of where things are going to go. And at the same exact time, there was so much intrigue and mystery that you don't know everything, moving forward. And I think that makes for a really good origin story as well. But at the same time, I think that critically, I could have been given a little bit more. I could have been like, okay, what is this character pivotal to? I think even like, Robin Wright's character, is amazing as her character actually was in this. I didn't know much about her. But from a comic book standpoint, I know. I think that they did a really good job with her and with the mother. But I think I would have benefited from seeing maybe some flashbacks. I think that definitely would have worked a lot better in terms of the film. The third act. Okay, so for me, I didn't have a real problem with the third act. I actually appreciated the fights, the weight of it, and the way that it ended. I think it ended perfectly in a lot of different ways from a superhero standpoint. But I think that there were some moments where I was like, okay, Wonder Woman, what are you doing? Like, like, okay, this I understand your perspective on it, but I don't know. I think that could be kind of a negative critique. But at the same time, the way that Gal Gadot's character portrayed Wonder Woman, her, her vigor, her light, everything about her represented this person that was new to the world, that understood right from wrong, that had a lot of book knowledge but didn't have any life experience. As much as, she's been around her Amazonians, she has not known what it means to see somebody suffer. She's not known what it means to see, somebody weaker than her, but at the same time have as much life as her. And I think that when you think of somebody as a lesser being, and not necessarily, I'm not saying she did, but just the way she was raised versus what she sees, she was a lot of growth. There's a lot of character growth in this film for her that Gal Gadot displayed very well. Like when she starts actually utilizing her powers, I was like, this is better than, when Henry Cavill was portraying, in Man of Steel, like the evolution of his powers, and he got it so quickly. But this one was way more believable in terms of her as an Amazonian, and at the same time, even more so when she starts stepping into the fold as Wonder Woman. I think that they did a really good job taking their time with that, and I think it's going to pay off in the long term, because a lot of people, their critiques with Man of Steel was that this happens here, this doesn't make no sense, why would he do this? I mean, this is a person that, within a day became Superman, and he had no experience. Like, Diana had experience. She had fighting experience. She has wisdom taught to her in a different way, strategically, but at the same time, she's never gone through anything. And I think that they were able to unfold that in this film so eloquently well. But what else can I really say without spoiling anything? And I don't want to ask any questions. I really want to just articulate my thoughts in a conducive way as to not fanboy out, because the geek in me, I love the film. I really enjoyed the film. I gave the film initially a 9.5 rating. I'm going to say this, okay? And I can't give this film anything less than a 9 out of 10. I'll say that from a record. Like this is on my critical side. This is on me as a critic. I can only drop 1 point off of a 10 only because I don't know any more negatives to actually go off on this. I really legit don't. I did not watch it in IMAX 3D. I did not watch it in 3D at all. I just watched it as the film as is, and it was a really done well film. I think that from the way that they paced it, from the way that they processed it, the progression of it, I think some people are going to be like, this drags on a little too long, but there was never a moment that I didn't enjoy it. What I mean by that is there's comedic relief, there's action relief, there's somber relief, there's moments of just the quiet moments, there's a moment where you literally see her in the mascara just looking out into the distance, and you're picturing in your head like what's going on through your head, but it's way done so much better than some of the other superhero films, like not even DC Universe, like some other superhero films that I was kind of like go there for, like they went there with it with her. And I think that they paid so much homage not just to a superhero character, but from the first, in my opinion, best female superhero movie that they've ever done. I mean, what are we going to compare it to? We got Supergirl, we got Catwoman, and got Elektra, which all of them technically were anti-heroes versus Supergirl, but this was one of the best superhero films that I had seen. I think I'd actually made comparison to this one to Spider-Man 1 and Batman Begins in terms of superhero origin lore, but as far as it being a film critically actually assessed, this was a well done film. This just the spirit, they just did a really good job with it. It was fun, it was entertaining. I could take my mom to see it, I could take my my wife to go see it, I could go take a little kid to go see it, and specifically females. Like this caters to the female demographic, not just female empowerment, but at the same time the preservation of life in and of itself that was brought forth from women. Like they even addressed that in the very early parts of some flashbacks of what the Amazonians and women in general did for mankind. And I think that the way that they portrayed Steve Trevor and the way that he, respects Diana as much as follows and rallies behind her. And when it's time for him to move, he moves. No matter what, he's brave, he's endearing, and he's respectful of her, which I've not seen that, honestly, in certain characters. And as I said, I don't have any real big negatives. I think that the villains, one thing I didn't talk about, I'm not gonna go in there. I think that there were some weak moments towards the middle, but they were self-sufficient. I don't think that they came off kind of not cartoonish in the very beginning stages when I was kind of and that falls into that -1 that I would say. But towards the end, it all ultimately paid off, and I actually really enjoyed what they did for Wonder Woman. I recommend you definitely go and check it out for yourself. Don't go into this with a lot of high expectations. I as much as I nerded out yesterday and enjoyed the film, and I geeked out. I legitimately did geek out. I would say go into it with low expectations. Go into it trying to have a fun time. Take your daughter, take your mom. Go into it with somebody that's a fan of the superhero lore, or not even just DC lore. Just going in there to see a good, action-packed, fun superhero film, and I promise you, you're going to enjoy yourself. You might rate it a 7 out of 10. You might rate it an 8 out of 10. You might rate it a 10 out of 10. But I promise you one thing, that you're going to actually appreciate and enjoy the way that they crafted this superhero film. And yes, this was written and helped by Zack Snyder and Jeff Johns. And Patty Jenkins did direct the mess out of this film, but as much as they did a great job, Chris Pine, Gal Gadot stole the show for me personally. And then there were some other notable people as far as even their team. Their team was really dope. I just really personally thought that they did a really good job as a film critic with this film. And I give it a 9 out of 10. Again, if you didn't hear me before, I can't get anything less than that. I was thinking about maybe as much as I could to bash it or, go back and forth. But even when I was comparing it to Man of Steel, Man of Steel still was one of my favorite, DCU films, period, But this either one equals and rivals it or is better. Just flat out. But anyway, my breakfast time is over. I sacrificed my breakfast time to be able to give you guys a critical retrospective on Wonder Woman, and that's what I have to say about it. If you have anything more, definitely go and see me rant and geek out about Wonder Woman again. The soundtrack was amazing. The score was amazing. The acting was done well. It wasn't perfect. There are definitely some cheesy moments. There were some moments towards the third act I was kind of like, this is unnecessary, this doesn't make sense. But at the same time, the sincerity of the character, Wonder Woman, and what they were able to bring to light for the character, it was represented very well. And me basically knowing the lore and being a movie critic, I really could appreciate and rally behind Wonder Woman. And I definitely will be seeing it again. If possible, I'll try to see it on the 30th with that press screening. If not, either way, I'm going to already have my tickets bought for June the 1st. Anyway, keep it locked. JVS, we gonna stop. And I saw what you said, Sammy. Man still has some epic best action ever. This one definitely rivals that. If not, it's better. As far as action, I'll say that off the gate. If not, the action this may be specifically better. All right, you guys. Hopefully y'all enjoyed my retrospective review. Keep it locked. JVS, we ain't gonna stop. Leave your comments in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the film, definitely let me know if you enjoyed it. If you have not seen the film, definitely know it's gonna be something that you're gonna really enjoy. And if you don't enjoy it, either way, definitely. Some of the stuff is very subjective, but make sure you go into it with low expectations and just try to enjoy the film. Peace, guys.